All right, here we go. Live nightcap special Sunday night. Live nightcap edition, as always. Brought to you by our good friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. You know the drill. www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app. Use the app for delivery. They will bring it right to your front door, pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop, or Dayton, Kentucky, Wednesday through Sunday, lunch and dinner. Time to pump it up. They will save you 15% off of your order. All right. It's a big night, fellas. It's so big that we've added a guest. A special guest. He doesn't no, it's not Dan Simon. It's David Simone. Joins Aaron and I. And it is time to talk about what is right at this moment, the signature commit for the 2024 class, as Scott Satterfield gets his quarterback. Pete Thomas gets his quarterback as they dip into Philly and grab. Dave, did you figure it out? Samaj?
First one, Samaj
Jones, 4-star quarterback out of Philadelphia. Scott Satterfield extended, and Pete Thomas extended this young man his first major offer when they were at Louisville. They stuck with him the entire time. It was a little bit of a windy road where West Virginia made a strong push. Oklahoma made a strong push. I know Penn State was involved for a while. But ultimately, in the end, relationships went out, and Cincinnati gets their quarterback. Aaron, visceral reaction from a fan perspective to be able to get your number one quarterback target.
Well, you're back on the board with a 4-star number one. I think that's probably the most important thing right now to the fans. They don't really know or care who it is as long as it's a 4-star. That said, it's at the most important position on the field. And it's also, you have a mobile quarterback in Emory Jones, and now you are doubling up with another mobile quarterback. Obviously, you have something of that in Drogish as well. So I think you're starting to stack the quarterback room with a lot of dudes who have some exciting game.
Dave, you have watched a lot of tape on Samaj Jones. This is a guy that you have kind of dug in on since the staff got here, because it was pretty clear he was going to be at the top of their quarterback board. Yeah, I would say the Grunkmeyer kid that did commit to, was it Penn State?
Penn State.
No, yeah. He was right up there with Samaj Jones in terms of the guys that they liked. But Jones, they had the longest relationship with. They obviously were, big fans and felt like he could be their quarterback of the future for a long time. So tell me what you've seen from his tape and why you're excited about him committing.
Yeah, I mean, well, first and foremost, seems to be, this is all, not hypotheticals, but, we don't know 100%. Seems to be a very, very good fit in what Scott Satterfield wants to do offensively. From a height, weight, speed standpoint, I would say his rating is not because of his height. We list him at 5'11", 24/7 does. He's probably somewhere in that 5'10" to 6 foot range. But he is not small. He's not slight. He's short for the position. But, I mean, we list him at 218. I've seen 215. I've seen 220, which you typically don't get guys playing quarterback at kind of like really ideal running back size. So, I've seen the Kyler Murray thing thrown out there. Kyler Murray is still smaller than this guy from a weight standpoint. And Kyler Murray's a rare athlete from a arm talent perspective for his size, and also his speed is unmatched. But, I'm looking at more of like a Jalen Hurts, Braxton Miller type of player where he's a quarterback. Let's get that out of the way right from the jump. This is not a athlete moonlighting as a quarterback. He is a quarterback. He has a very clean motion. He has a very nice, refined release. He can make all the throws. He's got plenty enough arm strength. He is incredibly accurate from what I've seen, and really, really accurate on the deep stuff. Like, there's a lot of throws in his tapes, whether it's his junior tape, whether it's his summer stuff that he put out a video in May, kind of like their 7-on-7 stuff. I mean, he's hitting guys in stride, effortlessly 40, 50 yards down the field. Guys aren't having to redirect. Guys aren't having to make diving catches. Like, he is an accurate thrower of the football. He's an accurate thrower of the football when he's outside the pocket. He's got really nice touch, but he also has enough arm strength to, throw those routes that need to be, Josh Allen, so to speak. Like, I need to put some shit on this ball because the safety's closing, or, I got to make sure a corner doesn't jump this route. He's got that ability. From a running perspective, he is plenty fast. I mean, I think I put a tweet up, retweeted a post with some speed numbers behind it. Plenty fast. I think the thing I like most about his running ability is he's very decisive. I think that's the thing that Dez excelled at. Dez did not
dance.
He didn't dance, and he didn't wait, hoping something came open down the field. And Samaj does the same thing. When it's time to go, he goes, and he puts the back foot down, and he is off. And then once he's off, he's a running back. I mean, he's stiff-arming guys. He's breaking tackles. He is, like I said, he's put together. I mean, he's a 5'11", 215, 220-pound dude in the open field now that's running, we'll just say somewhere in the 4.4, 4.5s probably. Like, the speed shows up on tape. He's a winner. St. Joe's 12-1 last year, won the state championship. In the state championship game, he was 9 for 10 for 262, 4 touchdowns, and then ran for 89 yards and another touchdown. They were the number 1 team in the state per Max Prep, which keeps track of all that stuff. Like, good program. They've obviously got Elijah Jones committed to UC. They've got a wide receiver that's committed to another wide receiver committed to West Virginia. They just had a cornerback commit to Wisconsin, I think, yesterday. So he plays around a lot of talent, probably really well coached. Like, I love the fit. I love everything that I've seen. Like, I think he's a perfect guy to bring in, likely redshirt, and develop from there.
Do you think there's a lot he could learn with Emory Jones being the starter at this point?
Well, he won't. I mean, as far as what? Like, he's not going to ever play with him.
No, but I mean, he'll have been in the system. He may be able to. He'll have the tape of Emory in this system, so he'll, as opposed to a Ben Bryant in this system. Like, do you think that there's some takeaways to be had with Emory being the starter here?
I don't know. I mean, they're going to be super committed to their high school season, trying to defend the state championship. I'm not sure how much he's gonna, look at that. I mean, I'm sure that's part of the selling point. Like,
sure,
this offense suits you. I mean, you are, we recruited, we brought in Emory. He does the things we want to do. We have the Brady's. I think Lichtenberg is more of a pure passer, but he can get out and run. Dragish is the dual threat guy, like Jones is. Like, they clearly are identifying guys that can excel in the wide zone scheme, where the quarterback has some movement, and then they can play off of that, whether it's nakeds, whether it's bootlegs, quarterback runs. I mean, he has it all. Like, he is a total package guy. I mean, he's a top 250 guy for On3 and ESPN. He's a 350 guy for us at 247. I just think if this is what you're going to want to be at quarterback moving into the Big 12, I'm not going to say anything negative about it from what I've watched.
Do we think he waited until today to make sure he was the first recruit as a Big 12?
I don't know if he waited, and I have not talked to Chad about this. This is just my total guess. I wonder if they asked him to wait till today so that it didn't get lost in the Cincy Reigns, Cincy Light stuff. and the actual Big 12.
Actually, I have that answer. He was going to commit Friday, but he had a teammate that was committing yesterday, and he did not want to steal the spotlight for his teammght.
That's the kid, the corner that committed to Wisconsin.
Yeah. So
he's a leader
leader, doesn't want to overshadow or make his commitment bigger than one of his teammates. So he pushed it back to today so that his teammate could have the shine yesterday, and then he gets it today. So that's why.
So there you go. There's your answer.
Dave.
Yes.
Have to love in terms of system and fit and future of this program, Brady Drogosh and then Samaj Jones. Like
Absolutely.
They don't. I didn't have a ton of problem with Luke Fickell's recruiting because obviously it was outstanding. I was not overly thrilled with runner, passer, like dual threat quarterback, pocket quarterback, dual threat quarter, like how they seem to like to want to do that. Like for me, pick what you want and then go get it. Like
yeah.
I don't like the thought of like, well, we can be a lot of things. No, have it, like you know what you want to be, go be it.
No, I agree. I think outside of Dez, from the quarterback position, it kind of encapsulated the whole offense. It was tough to tell exactly what they wanted to be.
Yeah, because I think part of that is because they didn't find a style of quarterback they wanted and say this is our identity.
I'd say it starts higher. Like if you can't, if you don't know exactly what you want to be, then how do you recruit the quarterback position?
I think their philosophy was legitimately like we want one of each. Like we want 2 runners and 2 pocket passers over a 4-year cycle.
I don't know. I just think yes. To me, I think it's backed up because they wanted the kid and got his commitment. Like he clear. I mean, they obviously think he fits what they do. But I mean, you go back all the way to App State. You had Armani Edwards. What they did most recently at Louisville. They want a passer.
Well, that's the next thing I was going to get
that has the dimension of being a runner, and not just a runner when things break down, but these guys are passers. Malik Cunningham, Armani Edwards, like they were passers that you could use in the run game, not passers who, if they had to, they could run.
Well, more so, no, they weren't runners that you hoped you could teach to pass.
Well, that's for certain. I mean, you watch this guy. You watch this guy throw the ball.
And same with Brady. As Brady developed in high school by his senior year, he was the guy that threw the ball really well.
Yeah, and I love everything about. I think Jones's mechanics and delivery and everything are really, really advanced for this stage in his career and development. Like there's not a lot to pick at when you watch him throw. So I mean I can't say enough about it. I know they absolutely beat out Oklahoma and West Virginia. What are you banning people for?
They just won't stop with the Taylor Swift analogies.
Well, okay. I don't know any of them, so.
It wasn't me this time.
No, it was me. Like, calm down. It was funny.
You had your 2 days. Like,
yeah, it was funny the first 10 comments.
Was it?
Well, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I didn't ban them. It says banned. I just timed them out.
Absolutely beat out Oklahoma and West Virginia. Had a Louisville offer, Maryland, Tennessee. It's not showing up for some reason, but Bobby Petrino offered him in March, so he had a Texas A&M offer. So it would have been interesting if Penn State didn't go on. I mean, maybe Penn State felt they weren't going to get him, and so they went on Grunkemeyer because they were in that mix too, in the spring. So, I think it's, and that's the thing. That's the frustrating but understanding part of it. If you really want to just get into like the recruiting and the rankings and everything, like, I understand what their job is to project, and part of me finds that a little silly that we're like basing rankings off of what NFL prospects. But if he's 6'1", 6'2", I think he's a top 150 guy.
Now Aaron's just getting power hungry.
Hell yeah. Love it.
That's just Ed. Chelsea might stab me the next time I see her, but that's okay. Yeah, I mean, I always struggle with that, Dave, because I get like the long term, like the long form of rankings is that they will be looked back upon all the way through the last day these guys play in the NFL. And what you don't want to do is have a bunch of guys that made it in the NFL that you had ranked too low, or a bunch of guys that you had ranked really high that never amounted to anything because they didn't have the measurable.
Especially at quarterback. Like you're playing the odds. Like how many starting quarterbacks in the NFL are 5'11", 220?
Right.
How many starting quarterbacks in the NFL are 6'3", 225, 230? Like, how many successful college quarterbacks, have been truly like upper level elite successful college quarterbacks have been I mean, even
a good number.
Yes, but it's still not as many as your prototypes, the guys.
There's a lot more Tony Pikes than there are Zach Collaros.
Exactly. So I get it. I mean, I think that's why I said I understand it, but part of me finds it kind of silly that you're like projecting the guy's NFL prospects based in, and then using that to determine if he's how good he is in the 2024 class up against other 17 or 18-year-olds.
Yeah. Matt Lanham, Elijah Jones is an outside wide receiver. So,
yes.
Let's not make a mistake and consider just because he's not 6'4" that he's not an outside wide receiver.
Tyler Scott size.
Yeah. A little bit taller than Tyler, I think.
It's 5'11".
Like how he's listed. Yeah.
5'11".
Tyler's 5'10", 5'9", 5'10", whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, Elijah Jones is being brought in as an outside guy. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a big day for the program because it is evidence that they can get in early on a guy and then battle some really tough competition. Now, yes, Oklahoma, I think for sure had working against them that he would have been their second quarterback in the class. But they
second quarterback and the kid they have as a freshman this year, by all accounts, is going to be incredible.
Yeah. So that makes it a little tough. But Oklahoma won them. Like they OV'd
if
him.
He wanted to commit, they would have taken his commitment.
Yeah. And West Virginia wanted him bad.
Yeah.
So
they'll take anything right now.
They took another guy,
took a different kid
a week or so ago because I think they realized what was going down.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I wanted to get thoughts from Dave because I know Dave had been well versed in following this recruitment because it is one. Like that's the other key thing, Dave, is when they got this job, it was like, hey, this is the kid that they had their sights set on at Louisville for 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And you're able to get in there and fight the fight and close close the deal.
They got the job what? Middle of December, I guess?
Yeah.
They offered him a month later.
Well, but I mean they offered him at Louisville. That was his first offer.
Well, yeah, I mean they offered him in March of 2022.
Yeah.
They were the first, Temple offered, but I'm sure they would be the dumbest team ever not to offer the kid in Philadelphia as soon as, possible. But yeah, I mean, he camped at Tennessee in June of 2022. They offered him a month later. So you got the UC, Maryland, and West Virginia offers all on the same day. At least that's what we, report.
Yeah.
Oklahoma offered March. So, but yeah, I think I did a quick little run through. I think this moves them to 6th in the conference as far as average player rating. I think they're like 2nd or 3rd overall, but I don't really look at that because the number of commitments are so varying.
Yeah.
It is
what do you
funny.
think? What is your opinion?
They've taken Texas and Oklahoma off of the page.
Yeah. What is your opinion on what a commitment like this does? What is your opinion on what a commitment like this does for the rest of the class? I know it's a little tough in this scenario because they're pretty far down the road already, and anymore it's crazy, man. I was thinking about it today. Like like you're essentially done by July with recruiting for the incoming class anymore. Like, yeah, there are some outliers, but for the most part, man, this cycle starts like, junior days in February, and by July it is done anymore. It's wild to think of like that compared to how it used to be before the early signing period, when most of the activity really didn't happen until November, December, and rolled through February. And now it feels like, man, you hit the middle of July, like you better have 18, 20 commits anymore.
Yeah. I mean, you're at 16 now, and usually old days it was like try to get your quarterback early and use him to be the momentum catalyst. And now, they didn't get him early, but I don't know how much of a factor it'll have because you're going to keep adding here and there maybe, and then you'll see what happens in senior years and maybe some visits right when the season's over before signing day, but it's certainly going to be minimal, 5 maybe at the most.
Yeah. But you would hope, 1 or 2 offensive guys, you can go maybe find a receiver or whatever that's ready to jump now that they know that the quarterback is in place.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be, let's be real here. I'm going to be watching his teammate that's committed to West Virginia. Because if they have a bad year and Neil Brown gets fired, I mean, is that and that kid's got 2 offensive teammates going to UC? I'm not saying he's just going to, walk right into Clifton, but like I would say his services would be pretty up in the air at that point. So
yeah, that would make sense. And they have another one too, right? NC State or somewhere else.
I don't know. I'm sure. I mean, they're pretty loaded.
Now they've got 3 hot, like Power 5 wideouts on that team with Samaj Jones.
I just think it's interesting that DMV is getting hit so hard. Like, what? I mean, with
what is
you have a somebody from Washington D.C.
Philly's
somebody
not.
It's close enough. Come on now,
No, it's not.
It's close enough.
No, it's not.
I lived there for 3 years. It's close enough.
Someone get Aaron a map.
DC,
right.
M.
Look how
Maryland.
Look how close it is. Look how close it is on a
Virginia.
map. Look how close it is on a map. It's not far.
It's far.
It's not far.
That's like saying like Nashville is part of the Cincinnati recruiting.
That's not at all
area.
the same. That's not at all the same.
How far is Philly from DC?
I'll find that out for you. I'll find that out for you.
The DMV.
2.5
New Jersey,
hours.
New York, Philly, like that's the triangle there. Those Philly kids are basically, a lot of them are from Jersey and they're just playing ball in Philly. Once Satterfield's a year or 2 in, Dave, I'll ask you this. Do you think it's realistic to expect UC to have a top 3 or 4 class in the Big 12 most years?
140 miles.
I mean, that's hard to answer for me, just because or did they go 8-4 the first 2 years, or did they go 4-8 and then 6-6? Like it's going to be totally dependent on results. I mean, if they're playing well, sure, because outside of TCU, and I mean, Texas Tech is building a ton of momentum, but like outside of TCU, there's not really anybody that's like, yes, I can absolutely count on them to have year in, year out classes that would be top 3, top 4 classes in the conference. So those spots are up for grabs. So it's just going to be dependent on how the teams do.
Yeah, and I think the thing that's going to be tough in this conference is, at least where we're seeing things right now, everything is really, really bunched. I mean, it's like what we're talking about on the field. So it's no surprise that recruiting is kind of the same. That if you get one good commit, you can jump 5 spots. Like, everything is like, even at the bottom, like the bottom and the top are probably closer than, I would guess, any other P5 conference, aren't they, Dave?
I got it pulled up here.
Yeah, it's tight. I mean, and plus, the on-field stuff's going to be super competitive. So it's going to be hard for teams to stack like really good years on top of each other to build on that momentum in recruiting. There's a couple teams that are in the 88s right now in recruiting, and then it's a whole mess that's in like 87.5 to 86. So, I mean, and that's, to me, that's like splitting hairs. That's has more to do with, number of players and who's ranked and who's been ranked and who hasn't. And so it's going to be very competitive, very tight, a lot of similar stuff. I don't see I said this on the board. That's why I don't really care like if other programs are doing really well in recruiting, because I think the conference needs it, because there's no one in position to take over for what Texas and Oklahoma were. So you need everybody to recruit really well. Hopefully that means everybody plays well, and it means that you're getting 2 teams regularly in position to make the expanded playoff.
Right, like everybody's worried about, oh no, Central Florida's got a couple good recruits in their class.
Great.
No, that's good. They need to. They're in Florida. There's 110 4-star recruits in Florida.
Yeah, the conference needs it. Without Oklahoma and Texas, and Texas hasn't delivered on the field, but they have consistently been, in that top tier from a recruiting standpoint. But like, you're not gonna we're excited about the competitiveness of it, but it needs to be good competitiveness, like not a bunch of 7 and 5s. So you need all the good players you can get, and hopefully you coach and develop at a higher level than everybody else.
Aaron?
I'm curious to see what's going to happen with the rankings of like Devin Zahersky and Monte Whedon, who still have yet to even be ranked. I mean,
Who the hell knows? They've been committed for almost a month.
Yeah, I mean, you had Zahersky on June 13th and Whedon on June 11th. The hell are we doing here? How long does it take?
I don't know. I think, they'll probably be in the 86, 87, 85 to 87 range. So nothing, in line with the rest of the class, is my guess. But yeah, it's
I wouldn't be surprised if Whedon. I wouldn't be surprised if Whedon ends up at like an 88.
Well, yeah, maybe from a 247 standpoint, but he's already been rated on 3. I think he's an 86, and he's been rated by Rivals at like a 5.6, which would be mid 85, 86, somewhere in that range. Because 5.8 for Rivals is the low end of the 4-star. So if he's 5.6, he's like comfortably a 3-star. So he's probably like, roughly
like
the same.
87 or an 88 on 24/7.
Roughly the same as his on 3 rating, which is an 86. So I'm not expecting anything crazy. But I mean, if you're gonna, add a couple more guys, then it's not going to change their numbers that much because that's kind of like where this class is like 86.5, 86.75. So the only way they're going to go up is adding more guys like Samaj Jones, more 87s, more 88s, more 89s. But those are still really, really quality players. I mean, but I think it is kind of, who knows how this stuff works. A lot of it makes me laugh. UC gets a 4-star recruit, and nobody nationally talks about it. And, all these other teams get commitments, and there's articles left and right, and that are far less, if we're looking at rankings, far lower than this guy is. So, make sense of that.
Yeah.
However you want.
I've heard a lot of the same arguments about Tyler McKinley at NBA Players Camp this past week, where he was clearly one of the best players there, and there's still a lot of people not listing him in their breakout, guys that had great weeks. Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
But I'm the conspiracy theorist when I point those things out.
You're a conspiracy theorist because you think everything is a conspiracy.
Well, that's neither here nor there. But...
You have earned that reputation through years and years of evidence, Aaron. I mean, look, all we got to do, if we get to 5,000 members, they're going to talk about Cincinnati a lot. So
that's it.
You guys just, we'll force their hand. Then they have to talk about us because we're making them a crap ton of money.
Yeah.
We did get to 2,000, by the way. On
there
YouTube.
We go.
We are at 2006, officially at 2006.
Do we know who the 2,000th person was?
Well, problem is the person who was 2,000th was going to tweet it out, but there was a limit on how many tweets they could see at that time. So
did that already go away?
I don't know. I never had to because I pay for the check mark. So
because I haven't had any problems.
You also have a paid check mark.
No, there were issues yesterday with all my accounts, and now there haven't been any issues with any accounts today.
Okay.
Well, did they already take it away?
He said it was. He even said it was going to be temporary. I don't want to get into that, but
I'm just laughing about it because it's like maybe put down your phone and hang out with your family, or instead of bitching about you not being able to read more than 600 tweets. Maybe that's a good thing.
Anyway,
not good for our business, but just from your own
for our business,
for your own personal health. Maybe it is not a bad idea.
We're clearly the beacons of good health.
My screen time was down 36% last week, so I felt
there you go. But anyway, I mean, major gets. I think there are still a few targets out there that have not decided. So we'll see what shakes out there. I think there's been a ton of commitments just nationwide this past week, and I think there'll be more tomorrow, and then there'll be more on the 4th, and then we'll see what happens after that. I mean, you're going to be 2 weeks post last day of official visits, so if
they committed, the chances are they're going to be ready to announce. As we know, some guys like to wait a little.
Well, the other thing too is okay, if you used all your visits now and you don't commit. Teams all right, well then we're going to move on.
Well, I mean, there's unlimited visits now starting in August, I think.
Oh, so they can just keep taking officials?
Yeah, there's no number on anymore.
Oh,
you can take as many as you want. You just can't. I think starting August 1st, you can take as many as you want. You just can't see the same school twice.
Well, I'm sure the same school wouldn't really want to pay for you to come back in, right?
Well, basketball had been doing junior and senior officials, so you.
No, I'm talking about just these.
Yeah,
I'll use Jason, the running back. Yeah, UC and Kentucky and Vandy and Rutgers. They're not going to bring him back in for another official.
I mean, if he's number 1 on your board, you might, but other than that, probably not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. It's going to be interesting. There's so many rules changing. There's so much shuffling of the deck right now.
Yeah.
That it's getting difficult to figure out, what is what? When does it go into effect? How many things are just basketball? How many things are basketball and football? How many things are just football?
Right.
Like it's a lot right now.
Well, glad I don't pay attention to any of it.
Dave, surprised that in 48 hours, Rheingeist went through 40 kegs of Cincinnati.
No. When I got there at whatever time I got there, and there were still a ton of people, and the line was longer an hour after I got there than when I got there, like, no, I'm not surprised.
That's what, roughly 500 pints in a keg. I think that's the number.
What does the Google machine say?
124 pints in a half barrel.
Oh, maybe I was way off.
How many 16-ounce pints are in a keg? Yeah, 124.
Or 165 12-ounce bottles in a full-size keg.
But no, I'm not entirely surprised. I mean, I think they did a good job of marketing it, and obviously having it coincide with the official Big 12 day and the Reds' success and Taylor Swift. Like, it was all just like a nice storm of reasons for people to be downtown / at Rheingeist. And yeah, I mean, it was, I think they're going to be probably producing a lot more than they expected, and I'm guessing whether it's retail or other establishments are probably going to be looking at their initial orders and thinking we probably need to increase that moving forward.
Yeah, they're going to sell a lot of Cincy Light, a lot of Cincy Light. So
I mean, that's like a real. I mean, I'm trying to think like. How many kegs did you say? 500?
No, that 40 kegs in 48 hours.
I mean, I could see them doing when you consider like concession stands and that's
and that was just at Rheingeist. That was just
right. That's what I mean. Like that's a college game day, whether it's in the stadium, at the bars around the stadium. Like that's one Saturday.
I mean, that's almost 5,000 pints.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're going to do more than that on
$1 a pint.
So
$5,000 to Cincy Range just at Rheingeist in 2 days.
Matt, I do want to answer Matt's question because it is something I've thought about asking about. Would they take 2 running backs? It's a good question because obviously they took Jacory and Caffey without an official visit, but he did take an unofficial, and then they brought in Jason. Is it Patterson or Peterson? I don't remember. For an official, but they're kind of similar. Like they're both that bigger power back. So would they? I don't know. Would they then, if it's a second back, would it be someone more in like a Manny Covey, Chuck McClellan, that type of running back? I don't know. It's an interesting one. Patterson's recruitment as a whole is one that I've found kind of interesting, So I'm not sure where things stand with that, and I'm not exactly sure. It's tough to read where they stand on the running back room and if they would take a second one in this class. I mean, I would guess if Patterson wanted to come, they would take him, but I mean that I'm not even 100% about because they went ahead and took another guy before they had an answer for him, which at the time made me think, well, maybe he's ready to commit somewhere else and they know they're not getting him, but he still hasn't committed. So I don't know. I know that's not a great answer, but
good answer, Dave. It's Patterson. Yeah. Good answer.
I mean, sometimes it's all right to just say you don't know.
No, that's we've built a whole empire on. Look, I don't know. I want to know. I'm trying to know, but I don't know.
Yeah.
A couple interesting offers today in basketball, as they offer 5-star Jalen Harrelson out of Fishers High School in Indiana, 2025. Big time player. That obviously Indiana, Purdue, Notre Dame, everybody in the Midwest is trying to get. But that's a you would think that's a Drew Adams connection. Sources tell me that's a Drew Adams offer. And then how about this one? And this one, actually, this is one of the first ones, Dave, that doesn't make me feel old. They offered, officially offered Jacob Wilkins out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Son of
Is that
Dominique.
like Dominique or?
Yeah, that's Dominique's son. But
son of Dominique.
Like Dominique should have sons way older than 16.
Yeah, I figured he would have like older kids than that.
Right. Like his kids should be my age. Like I watched Dominique as a kid.
And I'm not even like saying that in. I'm not even saying that in like a joking way. Like
no,
he's a
Dominique competed in a dunk
when you and I were watching.
When I was
in the 80s,
like in single digits. Like I was not in double digits yet when Dominique was in dunk contests. So the fact that Dominique is still pumping out 16-year-olds, well done, Meek.
Yeah,
like,
but
that guy could always finish.
Jesus. He's got 5 kids.
Yeah.
Four with.
I don't care
8.
who with. But, yeah,
It's fine.
I'm just he's got a 16-year-old. Like what is he? 55? How old is Dominique, Aaron?
He is. Give me a second.
how old? Like
He's
Michael Jordan? Yeah, he's in his
He's got to be
60s.
pushing 60, like 50s, almost 60 at this point in time.
He is 63.
63?
63.
Holy shit, man. Way to go, Neek.
Aspirational.
One of my favorite players of my childhood was Neek. Like that guy could just explode.
Literally.
The human highlight reel, 63. Wow. 16 or 47. I mean, that'd be like me having a kid in 2 years, and I have no fucking intention of that.
No.
We joked with my uncle that my uncle had a kid at 49, and we were like, when you go to his baseball games in high school, they're going to be like, "Oh, your grandpa is so cute." That's my dad.
Dude, I'm gonna be that way just when Will's old enough. Yeah, that age. Like
No,
Just
you're not going to be that age. You're not going to
Not
be
that
63
old,
when
but I
Will is
mean,
16, Dave.
when he's graduating high school, I'll be almost 60.
No, you won't.
He's 4. I'm 41.
Okay.
Be 50. Okay, 55.
Yeah,
56.
55. Yeah, I'll be 50 when Kelsey
That's
graduates.
close enough to. That's close enough to 60.
Aaron, you're going to be up there too.
I'll be 57.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Late bloomers, the two of you. Dominique is proud.
something like
Dominique
that.
is proud.
56, I guess.
Yeah.
Something like that. Late bloomer. But anyway. No, good. Has it been a nice weekend for the Bearcats?
It has, and the weekend goes until Wednesday morning, right? This week.
Yeah, I guess it's not technically over. I mean, June 4th or July 4th is still the weekend.
Right. I mean, it's a 5-day weekend technically, unless you're me. I'm in for Mo tomorrow from 3 to 6, and then I'm the only idiot that would say yes. So I've got LW the 4th of July.
Do you get like
6
extra?
to
Do you get
9.
extra for that? 'Cause it's a
6 to
holiday?
9 on the 4th of July. No, I don't think I get holiday pay. I just think I get you're a dumbass that said yes. So
Well, just talk about the Bearcats.
talk about whatever I want. Nobody's going to be listening.
Nobody's going to be listening. 'Cause, no. No. Certainly not.
My claim to fame in radio is legitimately that I work all the days that nobody's listening.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Chad, can you work the first 2 days of the NCAA tournament?
What are you doing on Christmas morning?
New Year's morning.
Hey, Chad, Black Friday, 3 to 6. What do you think? Are you
I
in?
mean, New Year's Day actually wouldn't be a bad one anymore because you'd have the college football playoffs are on New Year's Eve sometimes.
Yeah,
So.
but everybody's watching football.
Right, they're not listening to the radio.
No.
No.
Hey, Chad,
But
what
yeah.
are you doing on opening day? We need you from 3 to 6. I'll be there. What are you going to talk about? Doesn't matter. Nobody's listening. You can't say that on the air. Doesn't matter. Nobody's listening. A big F you to anyone who has a 5-day weekend.
What about a 6-day weekend?
Are you off until Thursday?
No, I was off Friday.
Oh. Yeah, you suck. People hate you.
Well played.
Happy birthday to Will.
It was a fun one.
How much time did you spend today in the mulch?
None. We did not because of the rain and everything. We played with the toys and we built some racetracks. And as you saw, he's an introvert.
Yeah, very shy.
Small personality.
Yeah. Dad. Todd.
Yeah.
Will is going to be.
I'm grooming him to be the next McShay. Now that they fired him.
Kuiper.
No, Mel K's going to be Mel Kiper.
Yeah.
Todd.
Yeah. So no, it's been fun. I've eaten too much cake and cookies and.
How about this, Aaron? I talk to that little shit every day, basically, on the phone.
Dave?
On his way home from school. No, Will.
Well, no, because Chad and I try to talk, and he just talks the whole time.
Yeah. Chat. So I walk into his birthday party yesterday, and he's like, "How'd you get here?" I was like, "My car." He was like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Will, what the fuck do you mean, who am I?" And then I messed him up, and I was like, "I got here on my helicopter. It's parked in the front yard." And he was like, "There's a helicopter in the front yard."
Wanted to go see it.
Ooh, squirrel.
Don't talk about trucks or cars or boats or helicopters. He's gonna want to.
We had to calmly explain, Will, I don't have a helicopter. I was just kidding, buddy. Luckily, the pizza guy rang the doorbell and it saved the day.
Yeah.
Or else Will was really going to be wanting to see my helicopter.
Mm-hmm. No.
Oh, it was great times, though.
Yeah. Got there are a couple more stragglers out there, maybe. So we'll see. Could add some more folks to the class right now.
Happens Tuesday. We'll see what happens Tuesday. Niley says maybe he meant who do you think you are? No, he clearly meant who are you and why are you in my house?
Chad. I'm pretty sure they're back.
It's more Taylor Swift. I know. He clearly meant who are you and why are you in my house? Which probably should, like, I'm surprised that's not a Taylor Swift song as much as she dates.
Am I supposed to know who, like, that quote? Is that a thing?
No, they did this for 10 minutes, Dave. That's why.
No, but like. Now he said it was not Taylor Swift.
I don't believe you.
I do. Before I get off here, I do want to say it was a great meeting so many Bearcat Journal members at Rheingeist on Friday. Thank all of you for being such great members, loyal to us, helping us build this brand and this community. So it's always good to have people come up and say hello. And had a couple people ask about Dan, and then I was in it to win it until about 11:45, and from 11:45 to 12:05, I fell asleep. And then the Big 12 announcement happened, and I woke
called
up.
You until we were on the phone until like 11:20.
Yeah, I know. I fell asleep, and then woke up at 12:05 and was like, I guess I'll just retweet a few things and go back to bed.
I talked to Chad that night as well.
I heard.
Just a note, like if you're downtown and you want to take a rickshaw somewhere, make sure you check the pricing.
You did. You asked. You knew the pricing before you got on board.
Yeah, I just didn't think that. Yeah, I thought the time was going to be. I thought that it would take a little less time. I was betting on the under when it came to how long it took to get from Paycor Stadium to Fenley Market on a rickshaw. I bet the under and lost significantly.
You got got.
I took a big L. That guy was real happy to take us. He's like, Finley Market, hell yeah, hop on, let's go. It's $196, sir.
You're good for it.
I didn't spend any money all day, so I guess it's all good.
But
yeah, I don't have anything else. It was a fun show. So thanks to everybody for tuning in. Samaj Jones, 4-star quarterback, is a Bearcat. And I don't know what the deal for tomorrow night is. Is Brent going to be somewhere sober enough to do a show? Is Royer in the country? Is Brent at a wedding? We'll find out tomorrow if there is a BBP. Thanks for tuning in. This is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!